Hello everyone, I'm Leo. Welcome to another video here on the channel. Today I'm gonna talk more about the Lenovo Legion Go. Just talking about my experience with it the last many months. I mean, it's been like 9 months since I stopped making videos back then, and then I made a couple newer videos about uh, television Amico, not in television anymore, whatever. And I am thinking of maybe trying to go back into gaming related videos. Just got a headset. My setup is completely new, and the Lenovo Legion Go is the center of my gaming setup. And this is what it is right now. We try to. I have a improvised. Oh, can you focus? Yeah, I have an improvised kind of stand here, so I'm not doing great. As far as the setup, I don't even have a tripod. I'm just using a tablet holder from IKEA to do this. But the Lenovo Legion Go again is the center of the gaming setup right now. This is my office where I also have my music instruments, at least some of them, and it's definitely not finished, the setup of everything. So I'll go through many things. Now, one of the things when you buy a product is that, that regret you get for having bought it when you look at something else and you go, oh, but what if, what if I had this? What if I had that? And luckily, like there is not a single product out there that I look at and I say, oh, if only I have gotten that thing instead of this Lenovo Legion Go, that would have been so much better because it does this, it does that. Now, there is one product that really did a great job, in my opinion, which is the Asus ROG Li-X, because they put a lot of battery into that. Battery life, and they put 24 gigs of RAM into that, which brings that thing to a place where it actually can be a good handheld, where everything else kind of can't. It's too much compromise, and including the Lenovo Legion Go, it's too much compromise. I'll get into this later in the video. This is the reflection, right? If you're seeing like back there, like we can see the reflection of the IKEA stand. That's what you're looking at in the Lenovo Legion Go screen. Sorry, got distracted by that. Maybe you're getting distracted by that too. So the again, that thing is a great handheld, and if anything would have had me regret getting a Lenovo Legion Go, or even having me sell the Lenovo Legion Go and just to get it, would be if I used the Lenovo Legion Go as a handheld. This is key, this is central to this entire thing, but I don't use it as a handheld very much. I do use it sometimes, but not very much. That's a minority of the time that I spend with the console. And so uh, the LIX would not get use mostly if I had it, because again the Legion Go does everything that I need and it does it better. I love the fact that the screen is 8.8 inches. I think 16 by 10. I don't know, right? I mean, some games use it, some games don't. It's cool for the retro stuff, for the not retro, for using emulation of 4 by 3 systems or even 3 by 2, which I don't. I haven't been playing emulation on the Lenovo Legion Go. The only game that I've been playing actually really is Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. All these 9 months, I've been playing it and I like it more and more because I started playing a few months back, started playing the expansion, which is a dungeon, kind of a little bit like a Diablo thing, where you just go into the same dungeon, making runs over and over again to get better gear and trying to go further because it's pretty hard. It's very hard actually. Some parts, some enemies, and then you'll want to grind a bit and get better gear and improve the gear you have and things like that. And so it's one of those games where you just keep playing over and over again. And there is decent variety of enemies in the dungeons compared to what you get a variety of enemies in the normal game. You get more in this expansion. So that's what I've been playing most of the time. So again, no emulation. And that game, I think I'm I forgot whether it uses 16 by 10 as an option or if it always renders at 16. I think it always renders at 16 by 9. Lately I've been so you have borders on top and bottom of the screen. But they're not huge, right? I mean, you're talking about 1/10 of the screen being blacked out. It's kind of okay. But as you can see here, I have this monitor on top. This is a 1080p, 100 hertz IPS matte screen that I bought new now recently, and I've been using it in the office. I kind of regret having bought this a little bit because not for gaming, but for office work, for reading sheet music and doing different things. 1440p would have been better. It would have brought the cost up significantly, but it would have been better because this resolution is not great. It's absolutely fine for gaming with the Lenovo Legion Go. It's the best for gaming with the Lenovo Legion Go because I can't go above above 1080p with this. I'm rendering my game at 1080p, but I can't go above that. I can't go up to 1440p. It would be dumb. And when I'm gaming, I actually sit back a little bit, have the controller on my lap, and I'm a little bit further away from the screen than when I'm leaning onto the keyboard there, you see, to type, and then I'm closer to the screen, and then I can totally see the pixels because of the distance. So I'm glad I got a 24 inch. I was thinking about getting 27, but it would be ridiculous. Um, but the 27 size, I was thinking about 1440p, but actually I mean, I would have been fine with 1440p, 24. But for playing this with the Lenovo Legion Go, it's awesome. I love this. And there is this thing. I hate cables everywhere. I hate that. And so I wanted to have something that allows me to avoid having a bundle of cables. And I do have a bundle of cables here, right? Which is the mouse, the keyboard, and the controller. But these are plugged into this USB hub on the back of the monitor. The monitor is a USB-C hub, sorry, a USB hub. And it is one of those monitors that has a USB-C charge and display port. So I have to plug this Lenovo Legion Go in here with one cable, and it does everything. It charges the console, it keeps it running through power, and it feeds video to the monitor and feeds the USB hub in the monitor, right? So it's one plug in, and I'm done kind of deal with uh, with the console. And the console doesn't really need a cable. It has its power cable, but I don't have to run an HDMI plus a power cable to the power strip. So it simplifies the setup a lot, but it ends up simplifying the setup immensely because of this dusty notebook. Let me take the dust off before I put it back on screen. But I bought a Lenovo notebook that has the same screen resolution as the Lenovo Legion Go, 16 by 10, with the same processor. Basically, it's a 8845HS, but it's higher power, right? And for a second, I thought, well, I have this notebook now. So the Lenovo Legion Go is kind of, because it's almost the same hardware as the Lenovo Legion Go, just higher power, but in a laptop form factor, right? And 512 gigs of SSD storage, which is too little to have everything. It's way too little. So for a second, I thought, well, maybe now the Lenovo Legion Go is, useless. But there are so many things. First is that notebook is set TDP for 45 watts. And even with its 80 watt hour battery, it still completely drains the system really fast. Like the math is not, for some reason, the math is totally not 2 hours for this thing. It's just not. You don't get 2 hours out of this, gaming out of this, right? Probably because of the big OLED screen and then all the other components and whatever. And compared to the Lenovo Legion Go, where I go down to 15 freaking watts and I have a 50-hour battery, but it's way better battery life. It's like it doesn't drain as intensely. And so that notebook is really good for playing games if I'm plugged in, and it's really, really great for all the production work that I do and everything. Um, It's compact, it's great, it uses the same power adapters, it needs more power, but it can totally use the Lenovo Legion Go power cable. So I just get my Ugreen, whatever, something that I have that is a power supply for the Lenovo Legion Go. It's a small one that I carry with me in trips. And then I take the notebook also, and I just have that one charger for both of them because I'm not using both of them at the same time. And then I'm good. And because it's 80 watt hours, if I'm not gaming, the notebook's not going to drain the battery as fast, right? Of course, it's going to power itself down. It's just when you start gaming that it ramps up. But it has great battery life. It's a great notebook. And the thing is, if I want to work, all I have to do is take the USB cable out of this and plug it into the notebook, and then I'm going, and then I'm working with the same mouse and keyboard and everything. I really wanted to have that back in the day, before I moved, because I moved in the old office that I had, but I had a gaming PC, and then and I had an office PC, and I had both, but I didn't have, like, I would have to buy one of those things that change. I had, because you have your mouse and your keyboard plugged into one and plugged into, and so need to have two sets of mice and keyboard on your desk. Or I could have a USB hub plugged in and change it from one to the other, but you're fiddling with this kind of crap. And this setup is really awesome because it's like, just take this off, put it into the gaming, or take it off, put it into the work machine, and that's all you need. And you're done. I'm done. So it's really good. But the notebook, it it's a little bit cumbersome. It's a little bit big to be working together with the monitor. And as you can see right now on the table, the Lenovo Legion Go fits perfectly under a monitor. So you can easily have your Discord screen down here, or whatever browsing you want to do. And I wouldn't do too much because, again, this is a not a powerful machine. With a gaming PC, with an actual gaming PC, you can open everything and you can have, all kinds of stuff running at the same time, and it won't affect your gaming performance very much, but on this machine it will. So if you want the best performance, you might even want to close everything, which is how I use it in handheld mode at all times, because I put it down to balanced power profile if I'm handheld gaming. But if you're plugged in and putting performance mode, you can get a little bit more. You can get like just either open one browser screen to look at something, or just maybe have Discord that I think uses a lot of resources more than it should. But I have done this. I have played Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. It's an old game at medium settings. It looks good at medium 1080p rendering resolution on the upper monitor, and have a Discord down there just to see if there's something new or whatever. It's not easy to change from one to the other seamlessly, right? It might even be better to have a different machine running Discord. I could just open Discord, but I don't even open Discord, I think, on the notebook. Do I? I don't remember. So, as far as the battery life goes and everything, the Lenovo Legion Go really is great. It goes under the monitor really, really well. You don't have to find too much more desk space to use it as a desktop. There are also small NUC-like PCs, like these tiny mini PCs that are just a little box with these either mobile processors, or mostly they are mobile processors, just like the one I have on that notebook, that are these mini PCs that have the exact same processor. And some of them do come with a USB port enabled for power and video out. So you can have one of those with one of these monitors and just use that instead of a notebook. And then you have a very simplified, um, hookup kind of system. So that's also interesting. But I have the notebook. It's good. So I'm mobile. And I really enjoy the the Lenovo Legion Go. And there is one thing that's been happening right now with me and the Lenovo Legion Go and everything, is that the Lenovo Legion Go, it really simplified my life, because with it plus a Mr. FPGA, and the Mr. FPGA is amazing for that. If you don't know what that is, it's an emulator box. Okay, it's a very special emulator box, but it's an emulator box, FPGA emulator box. And so both of these, the Lenovo Legion Go and plus the Mr. FPGA, they do an amazing job of keeping me from buying anything else. So right now, there is this console coming out, which is a portable console. And it's much better than it used to be, the Nintendo Switch 2. I think Nintendo did an amazing job with the Nintendo Switch 2. They finally released, people are calling this the Nintendo Switch 1.5. That is so disgusting. That is so not true. The Nintendo Switch 2 is not a Nintendo Switch 1.5. It is the Nintendo Switch finally reaching 1.0 version. Like, it's finally what Nintendo should have released 8 years ago. Like, it finally plays Nintendo's own first party games made for that machine at 60 frames per fucking second, dude. And I'm looking at that like, oh, that's cool. I could buy that and finally play Zelda Breath of the Wild or Zelda Kingdom of whatever the shit it is at 60 frames per second. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, what the hell am I even thinking? This company needed an entire freaking generation to make their games fucking playable. Like, why are they releasing these games in the year 2020? Struggling to hit 30 frames per second with those simple graphics. It's, you know, it's insane to me. I don't get it. Like, dude, I've been advocating for 60 frames per second. I have, unfortunately, I was stupid and I fucking destroyed my old YouTube channel back in, you know, when I was stressed out because of this Amico scam thing and the community turning against people who were calling it out. And so I busted the channel. But that old channel of mine had videos of me, you know, promoting the idea to all developers. Make all your games run at 60 frames per second, 1080p at least. Okay, target that and lower the graphical quality so that you can have that good frame rate. Higher frame rates do not cost more to develop. It's the same cost. You're simplifying the geometry, you're simplifying whatever other technical aspects of the game, right? You're simplifying the stuff that costs money, but you're getting something much more important than a little bit more of shadows or whatever shader stuff you're using or whatever geometry. It's like, what is more important, to have a ton of fucking grass in the game or just running the game at a playable, decent frame rate that gets you good input delay, that good input response? And because I'm not sure how many people understand this, but how most games are programmed. Doubling the frame rate from 30 frames per second to 60 halves the input delay because they are still, either way, they will be running at 3 frames of input lag. Whether it be at 60 or 30, they don't change that. They don't do 2 frames if you're running at 30. They need those frames for whatever reason. And so it's double the time for you to reach those 3 frames if you're 30 frames per second opposed to 60. You're making your game laggy, right? Your game making your visuals like choppy. And the worst part of it is that always when these developers are targeting the freaking 30 frames per second thing, they never hit it. So you have frame drops. By that time, your frame rate is just fucking awful. And so it's like, I don't want to play that shit. So I don't want to buy a Nintendo Switch 1 and be playing the Nintendo Zone games, the ones that they have control over. Their flagship stuff, like the Zelda game, and be playing that at 20 frames per second, 15 frames per second when there are explosions on screen. Fuck off. My Lenovo Legion Go plays Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen at 60 frames per second. It plays the game that I would probably play the most on a Nintendo Switch, which is Monster Hunter Rise. It plays that game at 60 frames per second. I don't remember the last time I played the Dark Souls remastered on a Lenovo Legion Go, but I'm pretty sure, considering my 750 Ti could play Dark Souls, the original one, Prepared to Die edition, at 60. I think the Lenovo Legion Go can play that. Because the 750 Ti is a very weak card. The 970 that I had later, that would blast through. That would play even Dark Souls 3 at 60, no problem. Which I don't know how low I would have to go on the graphic settings and everything to play Dark Souls 3 at 60, but it probably can do it still, right? So I'm here. I have my gaming machine that has a library full of good games that I can play at 60 frames per second. I don't even want to think about getting a Nintendo Switch. This console has a better screen. It has better controllers that attach to it without me having to go out and buy the Hori whatever things that aren't even out yet. And so I just don't want a freaking Nintendo Switch. If I plug in a Nintendo Switch to this monitor, I'm not even sure it can use this feature that I like about it. I'll probably have to use the freaking stupid stand thing, the dock, and have that dock plugged into a separate power source, the exact thing that I hate, right? I'd have to do that. So, no, no, thank you. I'm fine. Like, again, I w- I kind of want a Nintendo Switch too, if you know what I mean. Like, I'm not immune to the hype. I'm not immune to watching all these videos talking, saying great things about these consoles. And I'm thinking, oh man, like, I can finally play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Is that the name? Um, at a decent frame rate with a screen that's not minuscule for that kind of game. Like, I think 7-inch is too small for playing modern games like full-fledged console games, right? It's great for playing. It's amazing. 7 inches is amazing for playing retro games, simple games, PlayStation portable games, and things like that. It's great. But even 8.8 screen, even this screen for playing Monster Hunter Rise, the map is tiny. If I don't have this close to my face, when I'm playing this console on the table, and then it's a little bit further away from my face, I have to come closer a little bit whenever I want to look at the mini map, right? I know 7 inches is too small for me because then I'll have be pressing the thing against my face to look at the mini map and reading small text and everything, this console does it great. 8.8 screen is a great compromise. It's too heavy to work handheld, but the truth about handheld gaming is, and I came to that conclusion before ever having the Lenovo Legion Go. Handheld gaming freaking sucks. Holding your hands up to your face to play a game is very uncomfortable. It's way more comfortable to rest your hands on your lap while you're looking at your screen that is in front of your face, right? That's so much better. And this handheld, even though it can do the handheld thing, it excels at doing the hands-free portable thing. If I live in a house now where I can game here, game there, go to the sofa, put my feet up, put this on a little coffee table. There is this IKEA table that I can raise it a little bit, put the screen on there, lie on the couch, put my feet up, like sit lie. You know that? Like, just kind of relax there in that position. Have a controller or have these Joy-Con like things. It's indifferent, right? I plug this into the power. I plug the controller in. I've been using my Hori Jampad Pro, I think is the name of this one. It's a great controller. The D-pad, I don't know how they had a Hori Jampad before that was almost identical to this for the PlayStation 3. This is an Xbox, uh, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. This is an Xbox One controller, and the D-pad looks identical. And I don't know how. It's not as precise. It's just not as good as the old Hori Gempad that they had before. I don't know how they could fuck this up, but the analog sticks are better on this one, and everything else is great on this one. I like it, and it has the back pedals that I don't use for anything. And for playing Dragon's Dogma, where you're just calling your pawns, or for playing Monster Hunter, that I honestly don't remember what it does with the D-pad. changes changes items in your whatever freaking thing or gives commands to someone. I don't know. Doesn't matter really. Great controller. I can plug this into my Lenovo Legion Go through the USB hub that I have, plug it into the power, lie on the couch, and I now that I have a TV, I was without a TV for a while. Now I have a TV. I can also plug this into the TV kind of easily, right? It's not perfect. It's definitely not a seamless experience like having the dock from the Nintendo Switch. That I admit, the Switch as a handheld plus home console, they did something good because you just drop the thing in and everything is set up and you can turn it on through the controller and do everything and everything is good. This one is not seamless like that, but it's, I'm willing to take the compromise in that sense. And again, I actually use it, just prop it up on the little side table, lie on the couch and play it like that. I have a nice view from the couch. It just feels good, or I can go play outside. It's really nice to have this. The outside can start getting, you know, suboptimal because you get lots of reflections. It's not like you can't see the screen. You can see the screen, but you want to do more than just seeing the freaking screen. You want to see it well. You don't want a lot of reflections. So outside is not optimal. Also for the sound experience and everything. I don't know. So yeah, the Switch 2, no way. No way. I'm too happy with the flexibility that the Lenovo Legion Go offers. I'm kind of almost looking forward for the Lenovo Legion Go 2. I think the price is going to be kind of outrageous. I bought this on the best sale that it had. It went for just a short amount of time, close to release on Amazon, for like 600 euro, which is a steal for this thing. It was more often at 700 euro, and then the official price that it goes for most of the time is 800 euros. And the new one, I doubt is gonna be anywhere below 1,000 bucks at the release window. I really doubt it's gonna be lower than that. And paying 1,000 bucks just to improve marginally on this is a hard sell. I know it has more battery, I know it has more power. It's going to do a lot better. But it would be a purchase that I would actually make. I think I would swap this for the Lenovo Legion Go 2 if I was playing modern AAA games. I would go there because this is I'll start talking about the bad thing about this, like really balancing performance with battery life on these PC gaming handhelds freaking sucks. The battery life sucks and the performance sucks. And when you get the perfect balance between performance and battery life, it's that place where both suck, but they don't suck as bad. And so you're kind of like, well, okay, I can play for like 2 hours tops, and the performance is kind of crappy. It's like, dude, like I don't know. Like I see these people playing like Hogwarts Legacy at 800p, lowest settings everywhere, reaching whatever many, like 40 frames per second, and you have like a 1.5 hour battery life or something of the sort. And I'm looking at that, I was like, is this fucking worth it? Probably is if you want to play these games on a handheld. I mean, it's better than a Nintendo Switch and probably still going to be better than a Nintendo Switch too, because the Nintendo Switch has like a lower than lowest graphics. And performance, as far as I know, is not great. Maybe the Switch 2 is going to be okay in that sense, but would I sell my Lenovo Legion Go to buy a Nintendo Switch? Like, hell no, because you already have a library built. You already have a good platform to play on, a good one, not a bad one. So Nintendo like is always skimping on stuff, and I don't want to mess with that if I don't have to. And the Lenovo Legion Go, it works fine for me. I mean, I know it's a PC, and people who don't want to game on a PC, they probably shouldn't get this. But this is another thing that I want to say about the Lenovo Legion Go as my experience with it. As much as it's still just a PC, it is actually way easier to use than an actual PC. Like I've been building and using PCs for the past 20 years, and man, like you just open the Legion Space thing and it goes grab all the freaking software that you need, all the drivers and everything, and sets it up for you. You don't have to do it yourself. It is a lot easier. Like, you want to change TDP, you're not going into BIOSes or whatever, or installing other soft. Like, my my notebook, I'm complaining about the TDP. I didn't really need to do it because I don't really want to use it as a primary gaming machine anyway. I'd rather just leave it as it is and I don't care. But, I probably can change that TDP either going into BIOS. I think I shortly went into BIOS and it couldn't find anything. You know, the Legion Go, like, it really makes it a lot easier to change these things on the fly. You have frame limiters. You can do that on any PC. You just have to install the software and configure it properly. But this thing has it done for you. It's just a fact. And so it is simpler and it makes you realize of all the things that you can do on a PC that maybe some people didn't even realize if they, I don't know, didn't have friends to tell them, um, or didn't go into tutorials or whatever to take a look at what you can do on a. I think as a PC platform, I mean it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I did disable uh, simultaneous multi-threading, and I don't know whether it's helping me or hurting my performance. I probably should reactivate that and disable a couple of cores from the processor. But I don't know which cores to disable because I know there are cores that are better than others, and the system kind of tries to figure which one is the best core to boost that one over the others, and that would save you battery and give you better performance. So I'm afraid of disabling a couple cores and ending up disabling the best cores and it hurting performance again. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. But right now, for what I'm doing, because I've been plugging it in and putting it in performance mode, I'm pretty happy. Like, it runs the game like, because again, as I was saying, like, you go performance mode is 30 watts, which is very little. I also like that. I was almost thinking about buying a gaming PC, or a gaming laptop, an actual gaming laptop, because it would unlock such amazing performance compared to this, right? It's even a 7. Just think about that. If you want performance, get anything else. Don't get the Lenovo Legion Go or any of these handhelds. Get either a laptop or a PC, because for 800 euros here in Europe, and I'm pretty sure in the US too, you can get a laptop with a RTX 4060, and that graphics card is pretty weak and kind of crap and whatever, but it still blows this thing away. Like, it's way more powerful. You have dedicated VRAM. 8 gigs is little, but it's more than you often can have with the Lenovo Legion Go, and you have 16 gigs of RAM in there also. Like, everything is going to be working much better. Again, it's because it's dedicated VRAM. It's not sharing with the CPU, so it just works better. But the notebook's gonna have like 5 minutes of battery life when you're gaming. Like, seriously, it don't underestimate these things. Like, these graphics cards, they will be pulling like 40 watts just the GPU, not counting anything else. The CPU is also going to be getting you like 20, 30 watts out of the freaking system. And plus, you have all the RAM and everything else that's, apart from that, and a big screen, and it's going to eat your battery like a motherfucker. But it is going to run the games properly, actually properly. And you're not going to be at low settings, 800 freaking P, you know, praying that you go over 40 F frames per second, which is ridiculous. So, again, uh, huge, huge advantages to having a notebook. But those, I mean, I bought a gaming notebook for my daughter for her birthday, And I don't want to. I don't know. Like I just as I said, I just love this. If I had that thing, I can't plug a USB-C cable and have it be powered by the monitor. I'd have to have that power brick lying around here, and it's a big thing. It can't go under the screen here, but the screen is also not as nice as this one. So, it's this thing to me, just because me personally, I am happy with playing Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I like the game. I really like the game. I've had that game for years now, and I had never really got into it, like seriously. I had played it before and then I stopped for some reason. I was liking the game. I was playing the game. I stopped and I never went back. And now I went back to the game and I'm really enjoying it. And I don't need to play Dragon's Dogma 2, where I'm gonna be, uh, having to balance all these things to get a decent frame rate. This game I'm playing is very old. It's an Xbox 360 game, and I still cannot max everything out at a high resolution and get stable 60 frames per second. That's how bad it is, the performance in this thing, right? But I can just lower a few things, put 1080p, and be playing it at 60 frames per second. It has frame drops, but I learned that I think they are just loadings and things like that. Because, like, whatever I do, I can lower everything down to zero, like have the lowest everything. And it's still at some moments when I'm starting the game, or when I'm transitioning between certain parts of the game, it's gonna slow down a little bit, but then then it's fine after a while. So again, it's just these games that are programmed like that, crappy programming. And programmed for an Xbox 360 and being run on modern hardware, it just, it doesn't take advantage of certain features of the new hardware, so it stutters in transitions. It's fine. And I have Monster Hunter Rise that I want to play, and I started playing Undertale, right? I mean, I like so many good indie games. I'm fine, right? I'm fine. I like the form factor. I like the relatively high power. I mean, it's just a little tablet thing. For what it is, it's actually pretty powerful. I like the controls. I tested this. I like the controls better than the ROG Ally. Even though the ROG Ally, if you want to use it as a handheld, an actual handheld, the LIX is so good. I didn't. I did. I tested it once. Like, it's light. It's pretty decently light. It's just the screen is a little bit small. I hadn't had the opportunity to test the new Lenovo Legion Go S thing. I think I think it has a lot of potential. It could be great, and maybe I would be looking at it if I didn't have this one. But it's like it's the same processor, whatever. I'm fine with this one. They only put a little bit more battery in the S model, so I wouldn't be gaining anything, and it's not even cheaper. So there is no reason for me to go for that at this point. But as a purely handheld system, maybe I mean it might be better, a little bit more comfortable, lighter, doesn't have the problems that you don't want to hold your Lenovo Legion Go with just one hand, just on these controllers. Mine don't wobble still to this day. They're in there, but I don't hold the entire system with just one hand. I only hold it with both hands, and I don't even use it as a handheld that much. I even traveled once, a while back, without the freaking controllers. I traveled with this thing, uh, without these, and I left these home. And I used this for. It was before I got the notebook, and I used this with a keyboard and mouse for a while as my main computer, and it worked just fine. And it's super compact. It's fine. It's good. You can do that. So again, it's so flexible. I really like the flexibility that it offers. And Yeah, this one is keeping me away from everything else because there are really great machines out there. One of them is the AYN Odin 2 Portal. I think that thing looks amazing. It's so cool. It's a Android handheld with a big 7-inch OLED screen and good controls and everything. And I'm like, well, okay, that one looks amazing to playing, retro games and everything. But it's like I already have the Legion Go that plays that. It's not a handheld, but even if I'm playing Mario, I can just play Mario, on the Legion Go unplugged playing with a different controller or whatever. I can do whatever, right? But I already can play like the Lenovo Legion Go does it. It's not a good handheld, in my opinion, because it's too heavy. Just because of that, actually. There is no other reason. Oh, and the battery life. But if I'm playing Super Nintendo, the battery life's not even bad. Not that bad. I don't play Super Nintendo for more than 3 hours, so the battery is gonna hold up just fine, is what I'm saying. And even PlayStation 2 that I play on the Lenovo Legion Go, it's fine. PSP, that's the stuff that I play. I don't have stolen Switch games and stuff like that to use, or pirated if you don't want to use the term stolen. Um, I don't have that, so I don't know. But so still, probably if I did not have a Lenovo Legion Go, I would have already bought one or two different uh, Android handhelds, either they're from AYN, Ambernic, or Retroid. But I don't because I have this. And if I really want to take a handheld somewhere to play some games, I already have one that's great. Plus the 3DS and the PlayStation Vita and the Game Boy Advance and the PlayStation Portable. So I'm fine. I don't really need anything, right? And it's great to have something that's actually really good and that I know that I don't play more games just because I don't have the time to play more games and not because I don't have games to play or I don't have a good way of playing them. I have a great way of playing games. I have two great ways of playing games. The Lenovo Legion Go and Mr. FPGA. And actually a console that's really good and I still have a lot of games to play on it, the PlayStation 4. Like it's plugged into the TV now that I have the TV here at home. So I can just play the PlayStation 4 if I want to play a lot of other games. And so I'm fine. I'm fine. But it's still hard sometimes because we YouTubers, we're so good at selling stuff to you, right? And we sell them to ourselves, right? We go out there and start watching these videos about the Switch 2 and the Odin 2 Portal and whatever other handhelds out there, uh, Xbox and ROG, the Asus just announced the ROG Ally Xbox thing, which looks great, to be honest. I think it looks really stupid with those controller handles coming out of the sides, even though it looks a lot better than the freaking prototype did. The prototype, because of the 3D printing and whatever, it looked disgusting. I think these ones, the actual, you know, production units, yeah, they look kind of silly, but it's fine actually. It's not that bad, but it's gonna be awesome to play games on. I think I'm totally willing to have something that looks silly if it really fits great, amazing in the hands. That is so much more important than how it looks to me. And so I think they did good on that. And maybe it's going to be a feature that's going to be exclusive for the Xbox branded one. Now, maybe we're going to get some advantages from that, even if you have a Lenovo Legion Go, because apparently Microsoft is kind of trying to make Windows more accessible for these devices, which would be great if they finally do something like a handheld mode or something. It would be also be great if they could somehow make a good hibernation mode for Windows, because why doesn't it have that? Like, even if you have a notebook, why the hell doesn't it hibernate properly? What's wrong with Microsoft? Come on, man. Like, it's not just handhelds that need to go into hibernation and then come out of it and still have battery for you to use the freaking device. I don't, it's unbelievable. So, yeah, this is coming to a kind of an end. This is my experience with this thing. I actually really like it still. I think I had the Lenovo Legion Go for about a year now. Maybe it's even been more than a year. It's a good gaming machine. I have had hundreds of good hours of gameplay on it. I have used it in airplanes. It's not a great airplane machine because in airplanes often you have so little space that you just can't really use it. I take long flights where they turn off the lights and I don't want to have a light shining on my neighbor's face. So I often don't use it in the airplane. But I so often have used this in the airport. It's so good in the airport. You go grab a coffee, you go grab a whatever meal. I often eat at the airport because the food they give me on the plane is not enough. I go to the airport, I sit down at a place that has so many places nowadays have power outlets in the airport. I eat my food. When I'm done with the food, I often still have an hour to go, an hour and a half to go, sometimes 2 hours to go before I have to take the flight. I stay at the table where I'm at. I just order a coffee or a whatever beverage. I open up the stand. I place this on the table. Take the controllers off because it's so much more comfortable to play that way. And I spent a couple of hours playing through my favorite game in the moment, waiting for time for the flight. It's such an amazing experience. Like, it's perfect for that. It's exactly, and it's better than anything else would be in that situation, in that very specific situation. It just works really, really well. And I've used it like that many, many times because unfortunately I've been forced to deal with freaking airports many times recently. So it just works amazing, right? It it really is an amazing tabletop console. If you want to have a standalone gaming machine, a low compromise standalone gaming machine that is flexible, it's an option. Of course, a gaming laptop is also a very good option, but the portability goes down like gigantically because this thing weighs what, like 850 grams. Even this very tiny compact PC, the notebook right here, it's like a kilogram. And then you're talking about that. The power brick is also a bigger than the one in the Lenovo Legion. It can use the same one, but it doesn't really like it barely keeps up with just usage during gaming. But if the notebook that I bought for my daughter, like the power brick is big, you cannot use just any power, just a tiny USB-C charger. It has to use its own power brick then at that point, and it's a heavy one. And just the computer is over a kilo, like 1.5 kilogram or something like that, right? And so, am I really taking out a gaming notebook out of my bag on a coffee shop or whatever and put it in? I know you can do that, right? I know I can do that. And grabbing a controller, whatever, you can get small controllers that 8-bit though. SN30 Pro is tiny, it's portable. So you could get that, but I mean, you know, I would rather have the Lenovo Legion Go. That's smaller. I don't have to worry about uh, how much space I have or don't have. Sometimes I'm at a place where you have a lot of space. Sometimes you don't have that much. It doesn't matter with the Lenovo Legion Go. I always have enough space. If there is space for a plate, you have space for the Legion Go. So you're fine. And that's I think that's the what the rant is. If you're looking for my personal opinion on this thing, it really is that triple A games. Me personally, I'm not judging. I never am judging the people who do something, right? I am sure a lot of people are, out there fighting the fight of getting decent battery life and being able to play the latest and greatest AAA games on these machines. It's totally fine, but it's totally not for me. I don't want to do that. I prefer playing old games, and again, I have these games. To me right now, since I already bought this is such a no-brainer because I already have the machine, I already have the games. The choice is, am I gonna go out there spending more money on stuff that I absolutely don't need when I already have a good experience? Or do I just take what I have and I have a great time with it because it goes together well? Old PC games go really well with these handhelds. You can play them at low TDPs with good frame rates. The way the games, because no game is made to be played at the lowest settings, right? That's not the vision of the developer. But medium settings, probably so, right? High settings, definitely yes. They they uh, they optimized the experience for that. And I'm not saying these games look bad at low settings, okay? But if you're playing something that's older or you're playing something that's light, you just have to waste way less time on that. If I want to play Doom, the original Doom, I mean, right? Or some other old school shooter, a first person shooter, or again, just generally PC games that are older and easy to run, like Dark Souls, Prepare to Die, or Morrowind, not by a an updated version of sorry, not Morrowind, Oblivion. I can just play Oblivion. Why would I waste my time buying a better looking version of the game where the looks of Oblivion were never the problem? Sure, the characters look goofy, but I've seen the remaster and a lot of the characters still look goofy. Like it's not fixed, right? It's not like as suddenly and still like the better the game looks, the worse the weird physics and the lacking game design elements look on the thing. So it's just not. I don't get it. Like I think Oblivion is a game that's perfect for this, and even Skyrim. I've played Skyrim on this machine, and I loved hated it because it's a perfect game for wasting your life away, but it's so slow. I don't want a game to be that slow. I want things to happen in my game. But if you want to just walk around and do little things and have fun relaxing and just kick back, and it's such an amazing game because if you want to you know have a pastime, wow, it's amazing. That's exactly what I hated about it. I started playing the game and then 2 hours would pass and I would be like, wow, 2 hours really? Like I just was walking around and I killed three guys and I took a look inside this cave. I didn't do anything and 2 hours went by. How is that even possible? uh, but it runs good because it's so easy to run. Maybe the very bestest most recent version is a little bit harder to run, but I got the special edition or something like that, and it ran great. So It should, right? It's a very old game. It ran like shit on the Xbox 360, but anything that runs amazingly well on a PlayStation 4 does fine on the Lenovo Legion Go. And that's a point where I'm totally satisfied with. Like I if PlayStation 4 graphics for me personally are great. So, yeah, that's my opinion. That's how I see it. Thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you guys around.